Hello, it is the 11th of February, and today I realised something important. I realised that I am in a reading slump, or I was in a reading slump. So last night I was meant to be going out with some friends and I wasn't feeling well, so I stayed at home, and to distract myself I was like, okay, fine, I can read whatever I want. And I read some graphic novels on the tablet, and then I picked up my e-reader and I started reading Open-Minded, which is the new book by Seager, who is someone I know in real life. We used to co-run a book club together for a little while before the pandemic, a YA book club, because she's a YA agent. And I was really looking forward to reading this book. It's her first adult novel, and it's about a woman whose boyfriend suggests they start having an open relationship, and another woman whose boyfriend suggests that they close their once open relationship, and kind of them working through it and becoming friends with each other. And I'm really enjoying it so far, and I'm enjoying it so much that I suddenly realised today that I have been in a reading slump. And I think I didn't realise before, because with audiobooks it doesn't really matter if I'm in a reading slump, because with an audiobook I can just kind of put it on and get through it anyway. Like, it just doesn't matter. I don't need to be motivated to read an audiobook, if that makes sense, because I can put it on when I'm doing something else. And the very fact that I'm doing something else kind of forces me to keep my attention on the audiobook. And I've listened to some audiobooks I've not particularly enjoyed, quite easily through reading this, and it's had no impact. But with print books, I had this barrier. I had convinced myself that I needed to read all of the ones that I had kind of currently started before I could start a new one. When actually I think I just needed to read something like really fun and engaging to kind of get my enthusiasm for reading again. And you know what? It's actually made me feel like I can go back and finish the books that I am partway through reading. Like, just reading something that I'm really excited about. Yeah, it's like reading is a habit, and when I'm reading a lot, it's really easy. I can read anything. I will get through it no matter what. It's fine. I'm much more like fast and decisive. If I'm going to DNF something, I'll DNF it. If I'm going to stop reading something, I'm just going to stop reading it and not second guess myself. I'm just, so much more like on it when it comes to reading. But yeah, I think I've been in a reading slump and just not realised, because I haven't wanted to read print books. Yeah. But I think I've been rescued, so thanks, Chloe. I think I've been saved from this reading slump, because I just feel so excited about reading it. I feel really excited about finishing this book and then finishing the other books that I'm partway through reading, and then starting some new books. I just want to do it now. I'm excited. I'm feeling energized. So yeah, that's really good. Today I, as well as reading a bit of Open-Minded, I also read a whole bunch of John Klassen's picture books. And this is why, to be honest with you, I think I need that really high reading goal, because I do things like read picture books and I want to log that I've read them. So I have to put them on Goodreads, but some of them are like 40 pages long. And that's like including the beginning and the end, and pages where there's just illustrations and no text, and pages where there's only like 4 lines of text, if that. Some of them have 1 line, 4 words. But I want to be able to log all this stuff, so I need that really high reading goal so that I can, without kind of feeling like it's a lie, if that makes sense. Like, it's not a lie, but if my reading goal was only like 50 books, and I carried on reading as many picture books and graphic novels as I am now, I would hit that goal in no time, and it wouldn't feel like a challenge. So yeah, by having it be 200, I think I'm being realistic about all the types of thing I like to read. Yesterday I finally read The Tea Dragon Society, which is a really super adorable little graphic novel. It was on the library, but the night afterwards I discovered it's also on the Global Comics app, which my partner subscribed to. But they don't have the others in the series. Like, there were 2 other Tea Dragon books and they're not there. So now I'm gonna have to like go through and request them at the library and like hit the notify me button on Libby, in the hope that I can get it. But yeah, so that's a bit annoying because I can't read the rest. Yeah, I was really hoping they would be on the app, but no, just the first one, which I've now already read, so there we go. But I did start another book by the same author, so that's fun. Yeah, I'm optimistic. I'm really hoping this week, after I finish Open-Minded, I can like crack on with all the books that I'm currently reading, because I need to get a move on if I am going to read any of these Lumicrate books, to be quite honest with you. But yeah, I think I am just going to follow the fun, and embrace the fact that I don't actually have to read a book all in one sitting. I've got this idea in my head that I need to just like binge read, and I think that's kind of become a bit of a blocker. Like I keep feeling like, oh, it's not worth me picking up this print book unless I've got a long while to read it, because I won't enjoy it so much. When actually it depends on the book, you know, to be honest. Some books, yes, they do work best if I just read them in one big sitting. And that's often the case for short books, because I'm not going to spend as long with them in general. And so if I'm only reading them in really small doses, I just kind of forget what's happening and get sucked out of the world. And some books that are so atmospheric, it's just a better experience to read them in as few sittings as possible. But most books I can dip in and out of, and actually that helps me read them faster. So, you know, as long as I am inhabiting the world of the book over a fairly short time period, I don't feel like I'm missing out. So yeah, I feel like I need to relax a bit. I've got into kind of a bad way of thinking about books, and yeah, I need to get over that. Fiction novels, to be precise. Don't have that problem with graphic novels, and I don't have that problem with audiobooks, and I don't have that problem with non-fiction. It's just these novels that have become a bit of an issue. But yeah, there we go. That's my kind of revelation for today. Wish me luck, and I will update you again soon. Hello, it is now the 26th of February. Yes, it's been a little while. It was my birthday yesterday. I did get a book, but it was one I already had, because I had not updated my Goodreads wishlist. Oh dear. But that's fine. It's going to be replaced. I will have a new book. Not what you want to hear in the middle of a Zero TBR blog that I've acquired more books, but I have. However, I have also read one right away. So I've continued to be out of my reading slump. Great improvement. I have been making progress on some of the books that I'm in the middle of. So that's really good. And I've also read 2 others, just completely random books. I've not been reading the Lumicrate books, so yeah, I'm going to have a lot of those to read in March, but hopefully I'll be out of the reading slump and I'll continue to have like a really positive attitude towards reading, because it's been going well. Just really for the last week, I think. I feel like I've got the zest to reading again, and honestly reading has become my coping mechanism, because I've not been feeling very well. I have a really tough time health-wise. It's not been great. And so it's been really nice to escape into books for a little while. So I read a couple of short things. The first thing I read was The Yellow Kitchen. This is a proof copy that I kind of rescued. I kind of rescued from just ending up in the bin. So there we go. I actually saw this book in a bookshop, and was really, really, really tempted by it. But I did not buy it. It's about 3 women living in London who have been friends for quite a long time. 2 of them have been friends since childhood. They went to the same boarding school, and another one is a more recent migrant to London, and they it kind of explores their adventure and sort of the kind of like burgeoning, kind of not romantic. Well, it's difficult to describe. Like it's not really romance, but there is a romantic relationship that's sort of kind of under the surface between 2 of them. Yeah. It took me a while to get into it at first, because it has quite like an idiosyncratic descriptive style. But once I got into it, I really enjoyed it. I especially like the descriptions of food. A lot of time is spent in one of the main characters' yellow kitchen, but also food is described in grand detail in other places, and I really enjoyed that. Then today I just finished reading The Bookshop by Penelope Fitzgerald. This is the second Penelope Fitzgerald I think I've read. I previously read Offshore, which is set kind of on a riverboat community on the Thames, and it's a really kind of like interesting look at people who are living in like abject poverty but determined to kind of cling on to some sliver of independence through their choice to live on the river in boats. And The Bookshop is a kind of story about a doomed quest to open a bookshop in a town that doesn't really want a bookshop. Except it does in some ways and it does in others, and there are meddling people who just won't let the protagonist kind of get on with things. It's really short, and all the characters are just kind of really kind of compelling, if briefly drawn, and I can see why it was made into a film. And I had no idea it was made into a film. I think I managed to even pick up this exact copy, and put it onto my bookshelves without clocking the fact that it was a film tie-in copy. So yeah, I'm quite intrigued to see the film, and I'd be quite intrigued to watch the film and see what's changed. So yeah, that was good. I kind of randomly grabbed this off the bookshelf to read, so I kind of followed that principle and grabbed the next book randomly. I'm currently reading Replica by Jack Heath, which, according to the back, is a proof that I got from, wait for it, Oxford University Press in 2014. Yeah, long time ago. I've had this book pretty much for the whole length of my current career. Yeah, choices. So yeah, I would have had this book at my parents' house, brought it here, continued to not read it. It's a sort of sci-fi thriller about a girl who wakes up to discover that she's a AI robot. And yeah, she's been kind of left a mission by the human version of herself. She's the replica, and has a bunch of stuff to investigate to find out what's going on. So yeah, I'm not very far into it, on page 42, and there are lots of blank pages at the back. 221 pages, including acknowledgements, etc. So yeah, I am intrigued to read this. Hello! February is now over. I'm wearing my spring glasses. In fact, February is super over. It is now April. Yes, April. I spent basically all of March being super ill. Super ill. So your month 8 update is just going to be a recap, because I did not vlog at all during that month. I was far too ill to. The good news is I read loads of books. Absolutely masses of books. So it's going to be quite an exciting update, and it's going to be followed by an even more exciting update. So please do subscribe to this channel if you haven't already and you'd like to follow my zero TBR journey. So here I am, partly in my pyjamas, partly in a nice top, to tell you about how February went in the end. So here are my stats. So I read 4 library graphic novels or picture books. I read 2 audible audiobooks, which was a little disappointing. I wanted to read more. I'm still desperately hoping that at some point this year I can get rid of my Audible subscription, but not listening to enough. I read 3 owned print books, which, let's be honest, is better than some months, but not great. I listened to 1 library audiobook, which was Fugitive Telemetry by Margaux, which I borrowed after having exhausted all of the audiobooks on Audible in that series. And of course I read 1 book from NetGalley, which was Open Minded by Chloe Seager, which I absolutely loved, and I think that was probably my book of the month. Yeah, definitely my book of the month. So there we go. It was a month. It was so long ago now that I'm like, what feelings did I have about it? How did I, what was this experience? What was it like? And yeah, so yeah, I don't really have anything else to say other than that. I came out this month feeling like I really, really, really needed to read more print books. That was the number one thing. I'd made a little progress, but having been in a reading slump for a good portion of time, I did find it really hard to kind of make myself even think about reading that Illumicrate TBR. I just wanted to read what suited my mood, and that's kind of what I did. So yeah, there we go. As I've already hinted, March was a lot better in that regard. So please do subscribe if you haven't already. Give this video a thumbs up if you enjoyed it. And keep an eye out for when that March video goes live. You can even turn notifications on if you want to be sure you don't want to miss it. Thank you so much for watching. Please let me know in the comments if you've read and enjoyed any of the books that I've mentioned. You'll see me again soon. Bye!